Hi, I'm Rob Richardson. I get to teach the next user group. We're going to talk about databases in the microservices world. So who am I? Why do you want to listen to this guy? Well, I'm a developer. I've been developing for 20 years, and I've done a few things. I love being able to teach and share my knowledge and learn from you. Some of the best things that I've been able to discover are really cool, but at the end of the day, I only get to one. I would love to be able to share with you so that we can scale past one person to a dozen or 100. Some of the things that I've done recently, I'm a Microsoft MVP. I'm a friend of Redgate. I help lead AZ Give Camp. AZ Give Camp is really cool. It brings volunteer developers together with charities who otherwise couldn't afford software services. We start building software for them Friday after work. Sunday afternoon, we deliver that completed software back to the charities. Sleep is optional, caffeine provided. If you're in Phoenix, come join us for the next AZ Give Camp. Or if you'd like a Give Camp in your area, hit me up on email or Twitter and let's get philanthropy installed in your neighborhood as well. Some of the other things that I've done, I worked on the Gulp team in version 2 and version 3 as a core contributor. And one of the things I'm particularly proud of is I replied to a .NET Rocks podcast episode. They read my comment on the air and they sent me a mug. Woohoo! So let's talk a little bit about databases in the microservices world. So databases in the microservices world. Why do we refactor our apps from these big monolithic systems into microservices, only to fall back to that big monolithic database? Do we really need to recycle the database that we used last year or 10 years ago? Is there a better way? Let's come look at the techniques that we need to be able to get from a monolithic database into a database per microservice. A microservice is best if it owns its own data. If a microservice owns its own data, we can evolve that data separately. So who owns this column? Who's using this field? Well, if our microservice owns its own data, then, well, we do. And when we're done, we don't need that column anymore. Well, what's really cool is once our microservices own their own data, now we have lots of little data stores that don't necessarily need to be the same type of database. So let's experiment with different types of data stores. Could we have a SQL database and a NoSQL database, a key value store or a graph database? We'll look at each of the types of databases, look at their pros and cons, their best use cases, some examples of each database so that you can start to search for the database that exactly fits your criteria. We'll look at each of these databases and start to explore when they make sense in different types of microservices. If you find a database that is ideal for your platform, then that might be a better choice than, well, the monolithic database you're using right now. Some of the other database options that we'll look at: graph databases, time series databases, column store databases, and ultimately NoSQL databases. If you're not familiar with any of these database types, if you want to learn some more about different types of databases, or you just want to learn more about architecting microservices and how to get to a microservice that owns its own data, then come join us for Databases in the Microservices World. This will be really fun for architects, developers, database administrators. If you're curious about building microservices, this will be an awesome session. Come join us.